So when you go to a company, when you go into a mobile push, here also it has some restrictions, a few restrictions. That means the restrictions on the location, because when you take this org, like as I said, it shows the when you take this org, it shows like what and all the different kinds of things, like the locations. Also it could, I mean, this is really a fascinating application, I would say. Mobile push is a highly successful thing in the marketing cloud. People, I have seen, like when we started to demo marketing cloud to some companies, we target on this mobile push. When we target on this mobile push, people gets highly fascinated and they're very much interested in this particular product, at this particular studio, and they say like, okay, let me give a try. So that's what they think, because many people, they are working on a different marketing cloud platforms. For example, Adobe or MailChimp, and there are a lot of other things, the mail sending companies, Mail Monkey, or there are different things. So in this, apart from all these things, mobile push is something which Salesforce Marketing Cloud only uniquely has this feature. So that is that is one of the reason why this is successful. So if you see, like what is this one, there is nothing in this one. um, Let me tell you, like, how, first of all, when you go here, how to configure this one. First of all, when you see the mobile push, your company should have a mobile app. Like if you take some any other company, nowadays every company has a mobile app. If you take Adidas, they have a mobile app. If you take any rental company, they have an app, and like it's like that. And there are some companies who doesn't have an app. If they don't have it, then we cannot do anything. So if you really have an app, so how you are going to, for example, imagine that you are in a company, they ask you to set up a mobile studio. Like, I want you have to set up a mobile studio so that you can send a push notification. So first of all, the first thing what you have to do is whether we have an app setup. So if you come here, I already set up an app here. And also, if you want to set up, if you people really have your, if, for example, all of you people working in your different companies, if you have apps in that, I don't stop you, you can use it, because this admin permissions are given for you. You can come here, you can create an app. Maybe you can create some app. For example, if you're working for Infosys, you can create some Infosys app. You'll be having some app there. You can save it, and see, when you save it, it comes here. There is no restrictions. I don't know if there is any restriction or not, but as of now, you can create as many apps you want. So once you create this app, it would give it's same like a connected app. You get an access token, you get an app ID. All these are bit secret. And also, this is just an image. If you wanted to put, you can put the image. It should be like 500 KB, and this is the endpoint. It's same like access token. It's like an access token, and we have the endpoint, same like how we put a connected app. It's the same. So once you have this, there are two more things, that is APNS client, and one more is Android client. There are two things. So these two things are really a black box for us, and we don't know that. And also, I don't ask you to learn this. I will ask you to know about this, but I don't ask you to learn this, because this is, again, it's a ocean. I don't want you guys to divert your brain into these in-depth things. So when I was working initially, when I was not knowing anything, this was the thing, and I was trying to explore all these things. I was trying to do something over here, something over here. I don't know how to connect this one. I was doing a lot of research on this. Then what happened was, we hired one mobile developer. So I took this to him and I asked him, like, he is the person who was supposed to build a mobile app. When I took this to him, he asked me one question: do this marketing cloud has an SDK? I said, what do you mean by that? He said, it's a development kit, it should be there with you. Can you please contact? So what I did was, I just spoke to them and they gave me some kit. It's outsourced, it's completely, it's open source thing. So if you see here, marketing cloud SDK for Android, so this one was there. I opened it, and for first, when I took for iOS, then he asked me, let me know if there is for Android. So I took it, and there was for Android also. There are two things. So one, I opened it and there was a huge documentation here. So when I showed to him, and he clearly knew what this means. So he knows how to set up a Firebase, all these things. He knows all this, and he was very happy about this one. And when I showed about iOS, and still he was able to see. He said that no problem, Mano, I will take care of all these things. So usually a mobile developer, when you give this to him, he knows everything how to do it. You don't need to worry much about these things. So when I told him to do it, when he did, and he gave me two things. One is one certificate he gave me. It's a kind of a JSON file. I chose it, and next he gave me a password. So I entered a password here, first thing, and I saved it. This got done. But this APNS clients, it's really difficult to build. It will take a lot of time, because with Apple it's a different kind of operating system, and there is a lot of security protocols inside that, so it takes a lot of time for them. But Android client, it is highly simple. They just need to give you a server key. Once you save a server key, then that's it. This app is completely enabled. And also after this one, what and all the functionalities we work on this, there is nothing to do with Marketing Cloud. Our job is to build a content, do whatever you want, whether you make a geofence or you find a location, you just run a campaign. That's it. From Marketing Cloud side, we just run a campaign. But how they are going to expose the campaign, it is not our headache. It is completely the mobile team's headache. They would receive our response and they would do whatever they wanted to. So this is how this works here. So when you give here, when you want to build here, and they gave me the key and I saved it, my mobile app got activated. So for example, I also activated now here. If you see here, just for your information, if you see, if you come to administration, there is one more app called, so this is the app, but this is not completely active. So we can delete it, because it needs a server key to get activated. So here, this is one of the app. So if I open this one, see here, this is enabled and this is disabled, because I did not get a iOS developer who can give me these things, but I got an Android developer who could clearly give me a server key. So I just kept it enabled, so that now nothing is going to stop us. We can continue with our development. So here, this, there was an image. You can take any image, or maybe you can change it, and you have access token, app ID, and you can give the description. I gave a name as a mobile studio. So how did I get this is, I asked him like, how did I get this? But for APNS client, he has to do a lot of development, but this Android client, it is easy to get it. So what they did is, they went to developer dot, here they just created a Firebase, and in that Firebase, what I did was I just logged in this test integration. I gave this user, so he just created one project. This is Mobile Studio SFMC. He created a project, and in the project settings, so here we have the project ID, we have all the information here, and there is an app. And if I go to this cloud messaging, so there is something called as server key. So this was the server key. So he gave me all this information. I just took this information and I just added here, and that's it. It got activated. So once this mobile studio got activated, that means this application got activated, I can do whatever I wanted to. So first thing is, this is done. So this is pretty simple. Here the thing is, we don't have to do anything. This is completely a Marketing Cloud, I mean, it's a mobile developer's work. So you just need these things. Once you save, you're done. And once that is done, now we are ready for the functionalities. See, in this mobile push, you can come here and you can, it is same like however we do other things. You can either create a message. So first thing is, you have to create a message here. This one, I'll show you how to work on this. Yes, let us see even this one also. So what we can do is, if you want to add the contacts, that means we have to bring the contacts inside the mobile studio, and so that we can start our campaigning. Or we also have this manage contacts. See, for example, let's, if you add the contacts, so here it would ask you like, what is a file? Maybe you can take some file, maybe like this. You just took a file here, and most importantly, this file should not be more than 20 MB. In Marketing Cloud, if it is more than 20 MB, it is fine, we can put some FTP, but here definitely it should be less than 20 MB only. And more importantly, suppose if they do some auditing, if sometimes if SFMC asks you like, do we have any opt-in confirmation from all these people? For example, today if I take for example Ashok and Gopi are there, I'm putting this contacts here. If I'm putting that contact somewhere, I should have a proof that they have opted in, like they have installed the app and they have opted in. So this confirmation we should have. So once that is done, you can just upload it. So once this has been uploaded, maybe it will take some time, let it be. But here we don't have any restrictions. If you have any email ID, then we are good. So basically this will take some time. So once this is it takes uploaded, it will go to the app, we will upload it to the app, and then we will do the mapping, and that's it. So once we do this task, here we get the people who are here and we can run the campaign. So for now what we can do is, let's directly go to the message. So here whenever we send this, whatever apps we have, it comes here, the active apps comes here. And also what happens is the people who have installed our app, it will show like, they have opted for us. And one more thing is, whenever we send an SMS, sorry, whenever we send a push notification to whoever people it got delivered, it comes here. Whoever opened it, it comes here. So all this information would be here. So this one we will see in a real-time org. I'll show you real-time org, like how they have created an app and how they are using it. So for now, let's create a message. So once you should come here, when you create a message, so here we have 5 kinds of things. One is outbound, next one is location entry, location exit, beacon, and inbox. Here this is pretty simple. For this you don't need an engineer to do it, you can do the configuration. But there is some kind of a different thing here. There is for example, whenever if I take a mobile studio, if I ask the questions, people will automatically they'll say okay, we'll send a outbound, location entry, location exit, geofence. People speak a lot. There are 3 questions. First thing is, what do you mean by notification? Second one is app messaging. Third one is inbox messaging. These are 3 questions which you need to know. In interviews, they would ask you. I don't know whether if they are asking in India, but abroad, definitely they would ask these questions. So what is the difference between all these things? In all these 3 things, we start our operation here only. For all these 3 things, we do the location entry, inbox. For all these 3 things, we do it. But what is the difference of these 3 things is, so if you see push notification, this one, if you install any app, you will be getting the notifications, like how the notification comes, you see, if you go into some location or something, you always get a notification like, okay, come on, it is a happy birthday or something. The notification is pretty straightforward. So in-app messaging is something like, when you're working with an app, you went there, you opened an app and you're trying to do something. For example, there is a shoe over there. For example, you're working for Adidas and there are multiple shoes, and in that app you're working. So while you're working on that, what you do is, you selected one shoe. Immediately you get a message saying them that if you buy one more shoe, you will have 50% discount, like that. That means you are already inside the app. That means your app is active. I mean, if your app is active and you are actively working on the app, then the message comes. So that is called as in-app messaging. Push notification is something where you just enable the notifications for your app. That means your background refresh is there, internet is passing through your push notification. So at that point of time, if you get some message, then it is push notification. And third one is inbox messaging. This is little bit different. This one, sometimes people will get it, sometimes people will not get it. For example, imagine that you are I don't know how it works in India currently. So you might be having, for example, there is a app called HDFC Bank app. You have that. Suppose you have done some transaction. Once you have done a transaction, push notification says that so much amount is credited to your account, so much amount is debited, so a push notification comes to you. So that is called a push notification. And once you open it and once you are browsing it and once you are trying it, immediately one message comes like, hey, please open a demat account, we have so much mutual funds, blah 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 comes. So that is in-app messaging. And there is one more called as inbox. There will be some inbox inside that. Once you open that inbox, in that inbox there would be like March month pay statement you have, or January month statement, and here is your credit card bill. So everything would be there inside an inbox. So there is a mail kind of a thing. So that is called as inbox messaging. So these are the three types which in interviews they might ask you. But if you know the differences between each one of the things, it should be fine. So basically the good thing is in-app messaging is the safest one for a marketing cloud people, because this one, if you when a person is using your app, when he gets a notification, for him it's fine, he will click on it or he'll cancel it and he'll proceed. But push notification is something, here we might gain 50% of people or we might lose 50% of people, because some people gets annoyed when we send them messages, I mean notifications. So as soon as you, if they see a lot of notifications, some people, if they're not interested with our products, they would automatically disable or uninstall our app or maybe disable notifications. It's up to them. And inbox messaging is something, it's compulsory, we have to send them, we can send them, and also we will put an unsubscribe link over there. If they don't want to receive emails in that inbox messaging, it's same like an email, so they would unsubscribe it. So these are the three things. And now coming to our concept. So here outbound messaging is nothing but we just send them a messages. It could be anything, hey come on please buy your products, or maybe congratulations you have won something, or maybe you completed 25 hours in 25 years in our company, or maybe you have done 1 million revenue with us, or anything. It's just a message what we send. And location entry and location exit, this is a game changer. That means here when you buy this mobile push, they would give you the locations. Like here when we bought I mean in this exact target we have 25 locations. That means we can set 25 locations. And once you set that location, you have to set the radius. For example, as I said, you imagine your working for some rental company, or I was working for some rental company. I was doing a project to some rental company, and what they wanted is in Munich, if a person comes by, because what happens here is in Munich is people, they have rental cars. That means not like in India. Here what people do is they can just take a car. Cars are everywhere. What they do is they just go, they see the car. As soon as they see the car, they would swipe the driving license. There would be some meter there. They would swipe it. Once they swipe it, automatically the car unlocks it, so they can sit and they can drive wherever they want. They can go, and they can go near their home. They can park the car and they can leave. That's it. The car would remain there and someone else will come there, they will take the car. It's like that. So that is how the rental service works in India. Same like Zoom cars, same like a Zoom cars, but it is more technical oriented. So what happens is every Saturday or every Friday, especially in Germany or maybe in Munich, what happens is people, they go on a vacation. So all the cars in the Munich, they would go to the Munich airport. They just leave the cars in the airport. They would take a flight and they would go off. So that the amount of uh, profit what that company gained is like maybe like some 50 euros. He'll pay some 50 euros and he will go off. But if the car is there till Monday morning in the airport, means we have to pay for the parking. For the parking itself we have to pay like 100 euros. That means it is loss for a company. It's a huge loss. That means a person is taking the car for 50 euros, he's putting in airport and he's going away for his vacation. That's it. But he'll come only on Monday. He comes on Monday and again he takes the car. Maybe if he likes it, he'll take, or if he don't want it to take, he'll take a train or a cab. But he comes back in, but the car remains in the airport. That means hell a lot of cars, they are in remaining in the airport and we are paying parking for that. So what we used to do is, what they told me is, see Manu, this is the problem what we are having. We have to bring back all the cars. How do we do that? So what we can do is, we set it this one. So that means imagine for example Gopi wants to visit Germany. So what he did is, as soon as he got landed in Munich, he gets a push notification saying them that hey Gopi, we have a car, a Mercedes so and so class, we are offering you a free ride. You can take this car, you can come to Munich for free. So what he'll do is, yes, of course, everybody wants to ride a expensive car like BMW, Benz or Audi, whatever it is. They take a car, they just pay some normal prices to the car. They just come to the city, they drop it somewhere and they go. That's it. But for us, for a company, what is a profit is, that means the parking charges we don't not wanted to give it, but for us the car came back to the city. So that's how it is. For that I use this one. So this one we can give a lot of locations. So if a person enters into that location, he will get a notification. If a person exits, he'll get a notification. It all depends. If a person enters, we can give him an offer. If a person exits, we can give him an offer. And this is Bacon, this is bit a failure one because this works on the Bluetooth. But this there are two things. One is geofence and Bacon. Geofence works on a GPS and Bacon works on a Bluetooth. So let us discuss each one of the things detail. So first let's concentrate on the outbound. Once you go here, there are the templates. You can use any one of the things. Go to outbound, click next. Here we can give like outbound demo app. It is not showing. Why? Do we have the app? Yes. Let me refresh. So we come here, there could be hell a lot of apps like location app or different app. Your company can have multiple apps. And here either you can use triggered or you can schedule it. And also you can send an alert or alert plus cloud page. Cloud page in the sense like we might have created a lot of cloud pages like a smart capture form or something. It depends. So once you select this alert, for example, for now, click next. So here it asks to select the audience. What we will do is so here audience would be either contact list or a data extension. Let me see if I have anything in the data extension. So here in the training, so I have few contacts. So what I would do is I would go here, go to data extension, go to trainings, go to demo. In this I would take maybe this one. So here the same, when you select it, it comes here. Or maybe if you wanted to use some exclusion lists, you can use. That means you have to take some lists, or you can take some data extension and you can put it. That means you don't, if you don't want to send a notification to that people, you can. So once this is done, click next. So here you are going to define the content like as it's something called welcome. It's like this. And here you can give some personalization like I name you can give. So here yeah, for this personalization it will not generate, but this one would generate when we are sending it, because you know AMP script works when we are sending. So for example here we can give like hi John, something like this, and you can give the text. But here the text, if you see here, for Android it is more space, that means 4094 bytes, but for iOS it's just 2048 bytes. You can send, that's it. So here it counts the size of the bytes. So you can give like all these things. And if you want to give headers and footers, you have to create it first itself, header and footer. So here you can select it and you can put it. That means either you can create this all the time, or maybe you can pre-populate your headers and footers so that you can use it again and again. And also there is something called as abbreviate here. For example, if it is like it's like this, what we can do is we should also set this abbreviations. So once you have set this, maybe you can just select this, and if you could abbreviate this one, automatically it would say like UK, because here every character what we type is highly important. And there is a lot of rules while building an email, or we are building an push notification or SMS, that it always we have to give a little bit, we should not give a huge content like long contents or long sentences or long links or anything. We have to should be highly precise. So once if all this is done, you can save it. And if you wanted to add the media, that means like if you wanted to add any links or anything, you can just put and you can add the links, or maybe images like this you can give it, or an all text, alternate text. That means I told you. So that means if image is taking some time to load, this alternate text will say like image loading or something, we can give some text like that. So this is add media. And sound, so this sound basically you can give a sound, or you cannot, you can neither give a sound, but always you have to give a default device default. That means for people, we have to give a preference to user, so that for his app he can select his own sound. So this one we can give. And this is update iOS badge. So this one, what this one is, if you put it as S, this one, how it happens is, imagine that you have an app, and sometimes you might have seen on an app itself there would be some small notification kind of a icon saying them that 1 2 3 or something. So here on that icon, imagine you send a first push notification for him, it comes as 1. Tomorrow you send one more notification, it comes as 2. So on the app itself the number gets counted. So those are called as this update iOS badge. So that badge updates showing the number. So this one, if you want to show, you can give, or if you don't want, you can leave it. And also this one is open direct. So open direct in the sense like you can give some link or something. That means whenever a person opens this and whenever he clicks this, what happens is by default it will take to that app. Or if you wanted to take to some other cloud page, you can give the URL here, so that if a person, when he sees this message, when he clicks it, it would it would take to app, or maybe if you give some URL it will take to that URL, or if you give to some cloud page it takes to that cloud page. So this one open direct, this one will show like where it has to be redirected. And the same here, the campaigns, you know very well like how this campaigns logic works. So this one you can give the campaign, this is also the same, just you do a campaign tagging. So once this is done, you don't need to test, we don't need A/B testing, or we don't need device testing like emails, like litmus or something. So nothing, we don't nothing we need. This is one of the best part of marketing cloud, where you can give like on the long press how it should be, and on an alert how it looks like, on a banner how it looks like. So everything would be like this itself. So this is like a device independent. So this one on iOS or Android how it works, on an Apple Watch how it works, so everything would be here. So once this is done, you can click next. And here whether you just wanted to send it immediately, or maybe you want to send it in future, it's the same, you can give. And here is something called as um, use time zone specified contact ifable. So this one, how this works is, for example, this one is outbound messages. If a person is in Germany, for example, so there we cannot send a message in midnight like 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So that is highly restricted. So what we can give is, we can, if you enable this one, what happens is it would give on that specific time. For example, from India I'm sending a message, I'm giving a time of 8 o'clock, but here if you enable this one, it would go and it would be delivered according to the user's time zone. So whatever the user is using, so based on that user's time zone the notification would be sent, but not the time what I have set. So it all depends based on the user's time. And next thing is throttle sends. So this throttle sends is, for example, if you are sending some 200 messages for a person, for one person should receive 200 messages. So here it is like it's, let me tell you, like I'm sending a message, one message I'm sending for 10,000 people. So if I'm sending for 10,000 people, what happens is every time my marketing cloud should send, it cannot send 10,000 at a time, because there would be a performance issue, because we don't have a image queue or something like that. So for that reason, what we say is we would give some skew. Suppose if a message is big, and when you send a message, our message should be compatible, it should apply all the features, it should take the personalization text, it should take all the cloud page text, it should take all these things, and you should fire the email from the marketing cloud. So what we can do is, if you throttle this, that means like 200 SMSs for 1 minute, you can give like that. So what happens is, if you send 1,000 messages, so it will go for on a 5 chunks, or maybe 5 times it goes, like 200 once, 200 once, 200 once on every minute. Or maybe you can send it as 15 minutes, or maybe you can send us 1 hour 200 messages, and 1 hour 200 messages. That means this one, why we send is, it all depends. If you are sending a heavy bandwidth messages, then we have to throttle it like this. This is called a send throttle. They will ask you, like in interview questions, can you explain me what is send throttling? Because in emails also it is there, in ours SAP is not configured, that's the reason this option is not coming. So this send throttling means, when we send a message, we will send them in the chunks. This is a bit important. So this one we can give it if it is needed. So if you want to do it immediately, you can come and you can send it immediately. We confirm, yes, that's it. So once you send it, our job is done. We don't have anything to do here from marketing cloud side. That's it. So what happens is, this one, once you send it, it is completely, it is our marketing cloud, our mobile studio developers, or maybe the developer, or yes, a mobile developer will take care of that one. So you will have the thing, so you will send, like it would be sent for so many people, whether the person opened or not. So all these things would be taken care by him, so we don't have anything to do it. So once you people do this, what all you can do is, either you can, okay, imagine it's done, your message has been done, and you don't want to have this anymore, then you can make it inactive. So if you make it inactive, it will never display on the list, because next time when you come here, you can see here whether active or a draft or inactive, or you can see like this. So if you want to see always active, so you can just click like this. Or maybe if you want to see inactive, you can see this inactive, and still you don't want it to have this in the system, means you can just go ahead and you can delete it. This is one way of doing it. And also, let us see what you mean by this location entry also. So here, click next. So this one, here this, the app. Also, if you want, you can select the cloud page. Let us select the cloud page also this time. Click next. So here you can select the location. See here, we can, in this current business unit, we can select only 25. In that we have already used 2, or if you wanted to create, you can create 1 or 2. The thing is, we cannot delete this, that's the problem. But if you want for testing purpose, you can create 1 or 2, or maybe you can, if you use the existing one also. If you want to use the existing one, you can click this. So this is the current location, or maybe click this, um, or maybe click this one. If you click this, so here there is some location. So whoever enters into this location, that means 510 meters. So this is completely 510 meters it is. So if a person enters here, that means as soon as the person enters, we need to send a message. Or if you want to create a location, you can create. So here, when you create it, there are 2 ways, whether it's a geofence or it's a beacon. So geofence, let's go to geofence as a best practice, but beacon, this is a failure one. Let's not use it, because this works on a Bluetooth, but GPS is something which is quicker and works properly. So here you can give any location if you wanted to give. So here, if you wanted to give, like for example, you can give like this. If you go, it comes here, you can select this. So once you select this, it comes here, and also you can give the radius for this. So give the radius for this, and you can save it. So it shows here 23 of 25 locations available. So this is how it shows, like, so these many locations are available. So once you save this, I will get the location also here. And or if you want to use the current location, or maybe if you wanted to use 2 or 3, you can use how many ever you want. But if you want this location itself, you select this location, click next. So here it's again the same. You can give this information, be something like this, and some sample message if you want, you can give. It's the same way. And also see, select the page here. So here we are using a cloud page also. So what we can do is here it shows the page. For example, we can select this page. If you want, you can just have a preview here, so how it looks in the mobile. So yeah, it looks like this. And again, add media, sound, everything is the same, campaign is the same. So if everything is done, you can click next. And this is also the same. So here, when to give, from which time to which time this should work. So if our shopping complex is open from 8 to 8 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., then we have to give 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. So this doesn't make any sense. Like, if the shop is closed and still we are sending them the message like, hey, come on, please come. Suppose if Munich airport is closed because of corona issues, now I cannot activate this message and call the people and say like, hey, come on, pick my BMW, it's waiting there. I cannot send that, right? So based on that one, based on the time, we can give here. And one more problem is, this one you have to limit it. This is highly important, because imagine you are in front of some PV or mall. So I have give up set up that if you enter into a PV or mall, you get a bookmyshow.com message. So what you will do is, okay, you're waiting for a friend, you came outside, again you went inside, again you got a push notification, again you came outside, again you got a notification. It's like spamming you. So in order to avoid that one, what we can do is we can just set one, so that every time when you enter into the location, you get it, and that's it, you won't get it again. And also one more thing is, imagine that you came outside, you went after 1 hour, or maybe after 10 hours you went inside, and again you can give. That means like this, you can like every 2 messages 1 day, or for hour 2 messages, or how many you wanted to give, you can set the frequency. So this is how it is, you can set the frequency, and if that is done, then you can schedule it. Once you schedule it, so whoever comes there, they gets the message. So this is one. And coming on to it, and rest of the things are completely the same. And let's see what is this beacon is. This also the same, you just have to do it, select the location, and it just sends. And inbox one, so there's nothing. Like, this is also the same, the app has an inbox and it sends, and also alert plus inbox. This would directly go into inbox. And so this one you can practice it, not a problem, because if you can practice it and you can delete it, it's the same. And there is one more called API trigger. For example, sample API. So you came here, you selected this one, API trigger, you selected it, click next. So here again, something, and yeah, everything is the same. So now what we can do is we click send. So here we don't, only thing the difference is, we don't select our audiences here. These audiences would come later. So what we can do is we click send. Most importantly, here we get a key. This is important. If you miss it, we are gone. So we have to take this at that point of time, and then that's it, confirm. So this is activated. Now how to send this one is, so this is now currently activated. Now how this we can send is, for example, you take this one, you have to keep it, and this one should come on a API. So how this API works, we have a UI developer, or maybe we have a UI developer, or maybe we have some other system. So we have some other legacy system. Now what would they do is, whenever they hits, we have to send a push notification. That is a requirement. That means we have a website, maybe on Amazon or something, we have a website. So those people will hit marketing cloud. So marketing cloud should hit a mobile team, so that it's a huge communication. From there they have to hit us, and we have to send a message to a mobile team, and mobile team should send an SMS. So all these three things should happen simultaneously. So how to work on that is, so here we have a key here. Now how to send a push notification through API, this is a little bit tricky here. um, Easily, see, we have a postman here, and in this postman we have a lot of things. I gave you all these things. This is highly useful. And if you see here, there's a push notification, like push send by message ID. You have this one here. Open this one. You should not trust these things, because these things always changes. So marketing cloud keeps changing this one. So I would ask you to copy this, and you have to search this one, because always these things gets updated. This is how I would be doing. I'll just search like this as Salesforce Marketing Cloud. When you go into this, so you get the APIs here. So here you have an API. So if you see the API, it has a lot of other things like this type, content name, application ID, application name. So this app ID, app name is something what I showed you on a Firebase. So they would give you all this information. So I have to keep it, and this is the name, and it should not be more than 100 characteristics, and also the content type. So here the content type, if you see this thing, right, this is a little bit challenging. So if you see this one here, you have the subdomain in this URL, and this is what you have to post, and content type, authorization, so everything. So here message type is there, content is there, name, application ID, and alert is there, sound is there, badge. So if you see here, there's something called as +1, content available 1, open direct something, it is there, keys you have something, and also this is 1. So it is like this. So this one this is little bit different. And also you have this iOS URL, Android URL. So everything is there, the geofences IDs you have. So all these things, but how to use this one is, you should know all these things, so that you can easily use this. So for inbox alert, all these things are applicable. For inbox only message, all these things. See, if for everything whatever is needed, it's here, but it's important for you to know what these things are. So let us see. So these are the important things. Message type means what type you're doing. If you're giving 1 means it's outbound, it's a 3 means location entry, 4 means location exit, 5 means beacon, 8 means inbox. So these are the keywords. Content type is also the same. It's alert or inbox plus alert. And also the name. That means here the unique identifier. That means whatever we got, it is the name of that one. And next, the application, the app used for that. So here you can send for multiple apps also. And here this ID, as I said, you get the ID of that one, and alert you get it, the sound, uh, and all these things, like the send initiator, or a message for period, for minutes. This one you have to see like when you have to, but if you know all these things, you know when to use it. It's pretty straightforward. So this is how it is. So you can prepare this one, and you can give it to the third party system. So those people, they'll fill all the information, and they would hit you from the external system. Once they hit from the external system, so that would come, it will hit this message, and this message will go and hit the mobile team, and the mobile would be fired outside. I mean, the push notification would be fired outside from the app. So once you people are done with this, what you can do is, if you don't want to have these things, either you can inactivate, and you can reuse it whenever you wanted to. But if you don't wanted to do it, you can just go there and you can delete it. So there is a delete icon here. You can click on this and you can delete it. And yeah, all these things, whatever you have sent, it comes here. You see here all the sends, the status, and the message name, the app name, from which app it is been sent, and what is the message type. So what is the last activity. So all these things you can see it here. So this one, we will see these things in a real time. Or and if you see in this, let me tell you, there are some important things here to discuss. So here there's something called as rich media. Rich media is something, this one is, this will not concatenate your information. So whatever you are sending it, If you enable this one, whatever you're sending it, it goes it like that only. That means if you're giving some big images or anything, nothing would be crunched or nothing would be concatenated. It would go like that only. So if you are sending some beautiful messages or something, and you want the person to receive like that only, then you have to select a rich media. So when you select a rich media, make sure that we are using a proper send throttling. That means within 1 hour we have to give like 100 messages or like that. It's not like 1 minute we cannot send 10,000 messages, because all that 10,000 messages cannot go in 1 minute, because the load would be more. So in order to do that, when you have enabled this, make sure that we send throttle it properly. And next one is send blackout. The send blackout is highly important, because they'll ask you in the interviews, what do you mean by this send blackout? Because this one would be available in email studio also. We might not have seen it in email studio also. This would be available, and also in mobile connect this is available. The send blackout is like the same as I said. If you take in European countries, people are not interested to receive your messages after 8 p.m. From 8 p.m. to morning 8 a.m. They don't want someone to send them a messages. So what they would do is, if you send a blackout here, so if you click enable this one, and if you can set here, for example, um, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. Come here, select 8 p.m. and select it to maybe 6 a.m. is fine. In this time, if you save it, so this person, you'll never receive a push notifications at that point of time, though we are sending him on for example, your system is in such a way that let me tell you one requirement. We have a requirement where I have to run a campaign for across the world. There are some 160 countries, and I have to run a campaign for 160 countries. So I built an automation such that every night what that automation does is it picks it and it sends a happy birthday email. I can wish a person who's in India at night 12 o'clock, but at the same time, if my friend is at Germany, I cannot wish him at night 12 o'clock. So my automation runs at 12 o'clock only, but this blackout avoids that, and it would send at morning, whatever time it is. It will put it in a queue and it would send on that specific time itself. So that is what this blackout window is. So this would avoid all the communications at that point of time, and it would send all the messages after the blackout. So this is about blackout window. And this one the same, like, and this is a subscription time till now, how much time we can subscribe this, and also how many days we have the subscription. And this one headers, you can create some headers if you wanted to. So this one you can create some headers. Hi, if you don't want to use it again and again, you can put like this and you can save it. So once you save it, then you will have the headers there. So you can just give only 3 headers. So once you give this, the problem is you cannot delete it. So yeah, and you have to reuse it. uh, of course in this one we have, but in mobile studio we don't have it. So here we can give the headers and footers, and you can set it however you want to. So this is about push notifications. But the problem is, if you wanted to see how this response has been reaching to the people, you should have your own app. I tried to do that app. I sat with a UI mobile developer and I asked him, but if I wanted to enable the app, and if I wanted to put that app into Play Store, and if I wanted to see that notification, there is a huge process and we need to invest some amount on that one. So it's for a small implementation, such a big process would be a bit of painful task. But from Marketing Cloud side, this is how you can do. If you know these things, then it's more than enough. And one more problem is, if I mean one more thing is, if you really have any apps with you, if you're really having some personal apps with you, you can always create an app. You can go to administration, create an app, and you can integrate with that, and you can try to send your push notifications and see if it is working fine. So this is about um, push notification. And one more thing is, when you are hitting through the postman, when I told you, like, if you are putting, see, this is the body, and once if you are hitting through this one, you have to use this one, this app ID and access token. So these things, the endpoint and all, you might need to use these things. And yeah, this is about this one. And one more thing is, you must be asking a question, like for example in content builder, last time when I told you, like I was asking you to build something like this. So I asked you to build an in-app message or a push notification. I have seen people build some in-app messages and push notifications, but you can ask me a question like where to use these two things. Because if you see our mobile, in our mobile studio, I did not use anywhere. So I used cloud page, but I did not use any content builder templates. If you see here, I just used the direct messages. I created my own message there, but I haven't used the messages whatever is created here. So where will these two would be used? So these two would be used when you are dealing with journey builder or any automation. So if you are dealing with a journey builder, so if you create a journey, take a data extension, or if you take a push notification, select this. Here you can select new message or create a message. You select a message and see, this is a push notification what we have created. You have selected this, and you can select the app and delivery options. It just gives the sound, whether default sound or custom or none. And this is increment iOS badge. That means the badge there gets incremented. If you want to enable it, you can enable it, or if you wanted to add the campaign to it, you can add it. And here one more thing is this reporting ID. As of now, this is not enabled, but here if you get that ID, what this one happens is, this one, if you could enable it here, if you could put the reporting ID, you can see like how it looks in that app. Completely you can see like how it looks. So that is not so important here, because anyway we know how this looks. When building the template itself, we will see how the preview is. So once all this is done, you can just come here, you can check this, and we can just activate it. So these are, so this one, either it should be a push notification or maybe the in-app message. So if you see the in-app message, this is also the same. So select a message. So here, say this is the in-app message. It shows here. Select it. So this is, either it's always active. That means whenever a person opens, whenever he opens it, this would come, or maybe on a specific time, like whenever the time frame, customer time frame, whatever time frame wants, we can give it. So this one, as I said, this in-app message always active, always pops up when a person is using an application. So once this is done, yeah, done. So that's it. The push notification or a mobile, and also you can use it in the mobile studio also. Sorry, in automation also you can use it. In automation also there would be something called push notifications or mobile. So there also you can use it. So this is all about mobile push. Now let's go to mobile connect. So do you have any questions on this one? Okay, now coming to this mobile connect. So as I said, this mobile connect is one of the important one, and also important in the sense for interview purpose, but it is highly, you know risky to implement it, because it has lot of restrictions on this one. You cannot use this, because when 3 years back there was no much restrictions on this. Using a marketing cloud, we were able to send SMSs to everyone, there was no problem. But slowly there were a lot of problems which was coming up, and a lot of complaints on this one. So they made it highly strict, and it's highly risky also. When you are building this mobile connect, you have to know end to end features of this mobile connect. You should know for which country you are going to send an SMS, and you have to know whether what all the rules and regulations of that country, and what is the prices and all these things. And also you have to sign one form whoever running these campaigns, they have to sign some no objection forms. So you have to sign this, because if any problem comes, you will be the person who is responsible for that. So if you're okay, then only you would be able to. Lot of developers, because lot of companies, they give this work to other vendors, so they don't sign it, and the companies, they don't sign it. So that's the reason a lot of people, they don't use it. I'll tell you like what and all the risk factors which comes over here. And also it's risky, and also it is expensive, and is difficult to maintain, junk content, and also many more I will be telling you. Expensive in the sense, you, for push notifications, you don't need to do anything. You can do how you can send how many push notifications you want. It's not a problem. But when in mobile connect, every SMS what you send, it depends whether it is short code or long code. I'll tell you what these things are. So if you are in India and if you wanted to send an SMS to United Kingdom, it's a different rule. For me, sitting in Germany, sending an SMS to United Kingdom is a different way. So the price varies. So for me, if I say to Marketing Cloud, they would give me one code, and like each code is like each thing, it is like some 2 to 8 dollars per SMS or MMS. It is that expensive. So if I wanted to send this much, it is highly expensive. So that's the reason a lot of people, they don't use it. And also it is very difficult to maintain. Difficult to maintain in the sense, see, when we are using this push notifications, I was able to delete it. So even if you people create a lot of junk notifications, it is fine for me. When I come here and there are notifications here, I deactivated it, or I'll just go inside it and I would delete it. I don't have a problem here. I'll go and I'll delete it. But in mobile connect, you don't have that option. You always have to reuse the existing one, or maybe you can inactivate it, and that's it. So that means it's highly difficult to maintain it. And also you have a length limits. There's the limits for length. I'll tell you like what is this limits, how much you have to give. And also this content, content is this content becomes junk. Like if 3 or 4 developers are working on that one, I also created. For example, if you imagine my company is almost in like 50 countries, so everybody are working on same Marketing Cloud. So what that person would do is, China person would create his own message, Japan person creates one message, German creates one, Italian creates one. So for one campaign, we are creating a lot of content. So when we create a lot of content, it becomes a lot of junk over there. And also one problem with this mobile connect is, as I said, we cannot delete it. It will be like that only. So if you stay for like for 1 year in a company, and all the 1 year emails would be there. And also if you wanted to see everything, you have to drag and drop from top to bottom. You come here, you let me go to this mobile connect. You have to drag and drop everything. If I wanted to see what is the latest message, or if you wanted to check what the message is, you have to come here and you have to drag and drop. Like there is a huge queue over here. So that is one more problem. And if you see the limits, length limits, we can send only 160 characters for GSM. I'll tell you what do you mean by GSM and non-GSM. GSM means global standards for mobile. So there is a standard for everything. So what is this GSM and what is this non-GSM, and there's a difference. So let me tell you, like for example, if I go to this, just an example I'll tell you. Okay, no worries. I'll tell you like how this you can send only 160 characters. So that's what you should keep in your mind. And there's a difference for GSM and there's non-GSM. I'll tell you like how this characteristics behaves for GSM and non-GSM. It is little bit of interview question, so you have to remember what do you mean by GSM. That means it's a global standard for mobile. And for what is GSM and what is non-GSM. These are two things. And here let us go to the flow just like this. This. See here, I'm able to give like this, like as many as I can. So here you can see the character count. I can give only 160 characters, and there are some non-GSM characters. So there are non-GSM characters. Those are like some special characters, I would say. So even I cannot specifically say what is that special characters are because I cannot remember what these special characters. So if you have a special characters, that means a non-GSM. So if you are using non-GSM, like all non-GSM characters, then you can have only 70 characters. In interview they will ask you a question, what is the size limit for non-GSM in a mobile studio? For non-GSM it is just 70 characters. If it is GSM, then you can put all 160 characters. So that is what it works. So they will ask you like what happens if you wanted to give 162 characters. So if you want to give 162 characters, first 160 you will send it in a first SMS, and the second two characters you have to send it in another SMS. They will ask you like, is it a bad practice? Yes, of course it's a bad practice. Then how do you handle that? What you can do is you can break it into two. You can break the first important matter in the first message and least important message in the second message, and you can send it to a person so that you know he can you can read it, or maybe if you want to unsubscribe it, and he can unsubscribe. And also one more question is, say there is if you wanted to unsubscribe, say for example this is a message, hi Ashok, like this it would be happy birthday, and I will give some blah 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 blah, lot of texts are there. And also here I would give you thank you, and here if you want to unsubscribe, subscribe, please send stop to this one. So even this text also counts. And also this is highly important. I'll show you like what do you mean by this. So when you're sending this, all these things should be less than 160 characters. If it is more than 160 characters, and that's it. So that doesn't work properly. So this is also important. One more question is, how do you handle this unsubscriptions? If you're putting it, you will say you just add this text, put a keyword text over there. Will that count in this 160 characters? Yes, of course. It counts in 160 characters. So you have to make sure that all this message what you are doing should be in 100 or 120 characters. Then only you will have 40 characters space to put this one. So once you do this, then to whom you have to send, you would send it over here. So let's see this later. And before going to that, let us have a proper knowledge on the things. So here as I said, for a message, if you are taking a message, you cannot delete it, or you cannot remove it from the system. It remains like that itself. And also this tool is bit weird. It's not so much friendly like our content builder or something. It's bit weird. It's highly difficult to use. And for example, suppose if this is our SMS, and if you type it here, see the message is here, and it shows non-GSM characters. I wanted to see what this non-GSM characters are, because this non-GSM characters will take a lot of it will take a lot of character space. So here, highlight non-GSM, so it shows like these two are non-GSM. That means the spaces, the extra spaces what you're adding is a non-GSM. So this one, it would highlight it. If you wanted to remove it, you can remove it. So if you could remove those things like this, then it should be fine, like this. So now there is no GSM characters here. So this one, it would show all this non-GSM characters here itself. And also it is the same like a campaign. And this one, you cannot send a text messages, but yeah, of course you can send a text messages, but you have to give a phone number here. The problem why we can send a text messages in this and not in push notification is because in push notifications you can see how the text works there, because as soon as you do it, you can test it, how it looks in Android phone, how it looks in iOS, and different versions you can see there only. But here that is not possible. So that's the reason we have to do the test. So this is little bit overview of this mobile studio. And let me tell you, like when you start this mobile studio, what and all you wanted to do. First thing is the data model. So the data model should be proper. This is the most important thing, and the only one thing, the data model should be important. So what the data model is, initially you should have a subscriber key or a contact key, and next thing is should have a phone number, that is important, as I said. And next thing is locale. That means locale is to which place are you sending it. For example, is it US, which place, which language, and there are a lot of locales, like it's Germany, it is language and country name, st.d. It all depends. There is a list. You can Google this out. What is the locales? Like if you Google it, you will get all the locales. For every country, there will be a locale. So these three things are important. If these three things are not there, then it's highly difficult. I was working with one company. When I went there, they told me like, see, I have a huge database. They explained me almost for 30 days, like how their data model works. And they told me at the end, we wanted to implement a mobile studio on this one. I said that, do you have a phone number? For few they have phone number, and for few they don't have a phone number. So make sure that you, when you go to a company, already the data model is there. They should refine the data model in such a way so that these three things are in a sync, so that you can easily be able to work on it. If the data model is not like this, you will not be able to work on this. So you have to make sure that you have proper data model like this with a proper phone number. And also if the code is like this, for example, for India, if it is 919, if this is the number, if this is the number, imagine if this is a number, this one should be saved as 00. So if you save like this, it should be fine. And also if you see the limits, say I have pulled some limits here, like the city. If you're adding a city in that, it should be 200 characters maximum. And the contact ID, that means the contact ID is the same, the subscriber key. And also the created date, you should have a created date, and the first name not more than 100 characters, last name not more than 100 characters. The local name should be there, it should be only 5 characters. 5 characters. If you don't put anything, default will be taken as US default. It will take this one. So this is a default locale. And also you should have, yeah, mobile, it should be 15 characters. And modified date, the priority should be there, whether one would be the highest priority like that, and two is the least, and like high, low, and high, normal, and low priority kind of. And the source, so all these things you will have it. If the zip is 20 characters maximum and the state is 200 characters, so these are certain things which I'll let you know, like how, where this comes. So this one, when you are taking it from, if you have to take the data, collect the data, it's important to have all these things. You should know to which city that person is located to, because the phone number in India is different from the phone number in US, or maybe the number is the same. So based on the location, based on the city, the cost varies. So it's highly important to have this. And first name and last name are also important. Local is important for the system. Mobile number is mandatory, and also priority is also important. How priority it is, the message, because if you are doing some bank transaction, you should immediately get a message. So that is one. And next is source is also important. That means if a person unsubscribes it, immediately we have to put it back into our system saying them that this person is unsubscribed. And yeah, the zip code and all these things are important. So these things I'll tell you like how this one works. So these things are important for now, but let it be. I don't wanted you to overload with this mobile studio because this is a little bit different and important. And I would explain this mobile studio later. But meanwhile, you can work on this mobile connect. But if people have applications with you, mobile apps, feel free to create your own apps and you can explore on this one. So for today, maybe you can practice on that, and tomorrow we will discuss in depth on mobile connect, and also yeah, few examples we will discuss. So do you have any questions for me? Okay, no worries. I would recommend you to go through this one also, each and everything. It's highly important. Maybe this push things, at least like this get location and all these things, because this one, I know later we don't study this, but now if you study, it would be a little bit, if you know these things, it would be really helpful for you. Because if they ask you to do some operations on this one, or maybe to get this, you should be able to go and pick it up, and you have to readily give this, you should be able to give this JSON to the mobile team.